Welcome to Timeless Audiobook. Don't Let Him In, a novel by Lisa Jewell. Don't Let Him In, a novel by Lisa Jewell. There is something about the quiet of a well-kept home that hides the deepest secrets. That is exactly where Lisa Jewell's psychological thriller, Don't Let Him In, begins, with a house that feels too perfect, a family that appears too normal, and a stranger who should never have crossed the threshold. But he did, and now nothing will ever be the same. Brace yourself for a chilling ride through deception, obsession, and the haunting consequences of letting the wrong person in. The story follows Hannah and her husband, Nate, a seemingly ordinary couple living a quiet life in London. Their relationship is solid but not without its cracks, small fractures caused by everyday life, unspoken resentments, and buried insecurities. Hannah has always prided herself on being cautious, careful about the people she allows into her home and her world. But even the most secure walls can crumble when trust is misplaced. It all begins when Nate reconnects with his estranged brother, Christian, a man with charms so smooth it feels like silk over steel. Christian has always been a mystery, the brother, who vanished years ago only to resurface with secrets he refuses to share. Despite Hannah's instincts telling her otherwise, Nate insists on inviting Christian to stay with them temporarily. It seems harmless at first, family reconnecting, old wounds healing. But as days stretch into weeks, a darkness begins to settle over their home, and Hannah starts to see Christian for what he truly is. Lisa Jewell masterfully builds tension as Christian inserts himself deeper into their lives. His presence is magnetic yet unsettling. His stories don't always add up, and there's an edge beneath his charm that Hannah can't ignore. She starts noticing little things, subtle but disturbing. Items in the house move without explanation. Conversations shift when she enters the room. And then there are the whispers, fragments of Nate's conversations with Christian that send shivers down her spine. That Hannah's unease grows. But every time she voices her concerns, Nate dismisses them as paranoia. He wants to believe the best in his brother, convinced Christian has changed. But as Hannah digs into Christian's past, she uncovers unsettling truths that paint a different picture entirely. Christian's past is littered with broken relationships, suspicious disappearances, and stories that conveniently fade into silence. Despite her doubts, Hannah feels trapped between protecting her marriage and trusting her gut. But the more Christian reveals his true nature, the more impossible it becomes to ignore. The tension in the house becomes unbearable. The walls that once made Hannah feel safe now seem to close in on her. Christian's presence is like poison seeping into every corner of their lives, and Hannah realizes that the danger isn't just inside her home, it's inside their family. What makes Don't Let Him In so compelling is Lisa Jewell's ability to blur the lines between paranoia and reality. The reader, much like Hannah, is constantly questioning what is true and what is imagined. Jewell skillfully crafts an atmosphere of dread, where every glance, every word, feels loaded with hidden meaning. You find yourself analyzing every interaction, looking for the cracks that might reveal the truth. As the story unfolds, we learn more about Christian's past, each revelation more chilling than the last. Hannah uncovers that Christian was involved with a woman named Marissa, who vanished under mysterious circumstances. Though no charges were ever filed, rumors swirl around Christian like smoke, impossible to grasp yet impossible to ignore. The more Hannah learns, the clearer it becomes that Christian is not just a charming drifter, but a manipulator with a dangerous edge. Torn between her love for Nate and her fear of Christian, Hannah finds herself isolated. Nate grows more defensive, convinced Hannah's suspicions are unfounded, a product of stress and overthinking. But when strange occurrences escalate into outright threats, Hannah realizes she can no longer afford to stay silent. The question is, will Nate believe her before it's too late? Lisa Jewell weaves in clever twists that keep the reader guessing. Just when you think you've figured Christian out, another layer peels back to reveal something even more sinister. The brilliance of Jewell's writing lies in her understanding of human psychology, how trust can be weaponized, how charm can mask evil, and how even the most careful people can be blindsided. The tension reaches its peak when Hannah discovers evidence that links Christian to a string of unsolved crimes, cases of women who disappeared after brief encounters with him. Fear grips her, but Nate remains stubborn, unwilling to accept that his brother could be capable of such darkness. It's a painful divide, one that puts their marriage and their safety at risk. As Hannah delves deeper, the danger grows more immediate. She starts receiving anonymous notes, her belongings are tampered with, and the eerie feeling of being watched becomes a constant shadow. Jewell paints this fear vividly, making the reader feel every ounce of Hannah's anxiety, the creeping dread that lingers behind every door and window. That Hannah's investigation leads her to people from Christian's past, each with their own terrifying stories. A former roommate speaks of his manipulations, an ex-girlfriend recounts his temper, and a colleague hints at his ability to make problems disappear. The picture that emerges is of a man who thrives on control, who infiltrates lives and leaves devastation behind. But even with mounting evidence, Nate's loyalty to his brother remains unshaken. The cracks in their marriage widen as Hannah fights to protect them, only to be met with denial and disbelief. Jewell captures the emotional complexity of this struggle, how love and fear can coexist, how loyalty can blind us to danger. The novel spirals toward its climax as Hannah pieces together Christian's ultimate plan. It becomes clear that his presence in their home is no coincidence, that he is orchestrating events with chilling precision. His target is not just Hannah, but Nate, their relationship, their safety, and their very sense of reality. The final act is a masterclass in suspense. With every chapter, the tension tightens like a noose, and Hannah is forced to confront the terrifying truth. Christian's manipulations have gone deeper than she ever imagined, and escaping his grip will require strength, courage, and sacrifices she never thought she'd have to make. In the end, Hannah's instincts prove to be her greatest weapon. Her refusal to ignore the warning signs, her determination to uncover the truth, and her resilience in the face of danger become the keys to survival. But the cost is high, and the scars left behind serve as a reminder that sometimes letting the wrong person in can change your life forever. Don't Let Him In is not just a story about a dangerous man infiltrating a family. It's a psychological exploration of trust, deception, and the complexities of human relationships. Lisa Jewell expertly crafts characters that feel real, flawed, and relatable, pulling the reader into a world where danger lurks behind every smile, and the greatest threat comes from those closest to us. The brilliance of Jewell's storytelling lies in her ability to make the reader question everything. No character is purely good or evil. Every action is layered with motivation, and the line between victim and perpetrator blurs in the most unsettling ways. This complexity keeps the reader engaged, invested, and constantly on edge. Throughout the novel, the theme of trust is dissected from every angle. How do we know who to trust? Can love blind us to danger? Is intuition enough to protect us when facts fail? Hannah's journey forces her to grapple with these questions, pushing her to confront not only Christian's threat, but her own vulnerabilities. As the final chapters unfold, the pace accelerates, and the carefully built tension explodes into a heart-pounding conclusion. Jewell does not shy away from the emotional aftermath, exploring the lingering effects of trauma, the fractured relationships left in the wake of betrayal, and the slow, painful process of rebuilding. Don't Let Him In leaves the reader breathless, questioning the safety of their own walls, the people they trust, and the shadows that lurk in familiar places. It is a chilling reminder that sometimes danger doesn't break down the door, it's invited in with open arms. Lisa Jewell's mastery of suspense, her keen insight into human psychology, and her ability to weave a narrative that is both thrilling and emotionally resonant make this novel impossible to put down. With every page, the tension builds, the stakes rise, and the reader is drawn deeper into a web of lies, fear, and shocking revelations. For anyone who enjoys psychological thrillers that keep you guessing until the very last word, Don't Let Him In delivers a haunting, unforgettable experience. It's a story that lingers long after the final page, a cautionary tale about the dangers of misplaced trust and the terrifying consequences of opening your door to the wrong person.